好的，各位观众，欢迎大家回到我们德玛西亚杯的直播。刚才在第一局之中呢 ，Snake 也是以比较大的优势战胜了 RM。那么接下来第二场还是这两边的。
All right, guys, welcome back. For those of you just joining us, you are watching the Demacia Cup. We are into game number 2. We're about to get into game number 2, actually, between Snake and RM. It was pretty one-sided in that first game, Frosk. Definitely Snake showing the dominance.
I don't know. I'm really on the fence about it. No, you're absolutely right. Snake completely dominated vision control, lane control, map control. Everything went right for them. I don't think there was a single misstep. I think there was one misstep, though. Actually, if I think back to it, it was that one play over beneath red buff. But otherwise, Reborn, specifically the jungler for Snake, came out huge.
Oh, yeah. Playing some amazing Lee Sin. You know, the picks didn't seem that bad from either team, but there was a, you're right, you called it a clear plan out of Snake. The execution was almost flawless, though. They really just made RM look like a team that is at the bottom of the LSPL, and that's, you know, well, that's what they are.
It was very curious to see a Chinese team prioritize someone like Nami. We've talked, you know, in the context of LPL that Nami doesn't necessarily mesh the best because Chinese, again, the region that popularized anti-support, I'll say this over and over and over again, on their supports, they like to put the hard engage tools, and frankly, RM didn't bring any sort of engagement tools, and they got burned by it when that map, you know, started to open up, and it became this, you know, flanking, hard engage, disengaging. If you're underdeveloped in warding, and you don't have any abilities to force a team fight, you just get outmaneuvered.
Well, and they got burned by a lot, too. The Sun in particular, those Leona ults were absolutely massive for Snake support Colin. We'll see if they go back to that again. Now, picks and bans already underway. RM taking the time to ban the Twisted Fate away. Maokai once again off the table for Snake. What do you think RM has to ban to secure themselves a bit better pick ban phase?
I think they'll prioritize Lee Sin. I don't think they'll ban it, though, but I definitely foresee it being picked up in first rotation. It's hard to say because there's just so many, you know, quote, OP bans. I don't think that we'll see them prioritize or target. Oh, okay.
The Leona,
Never mind, there's Leona. I was thinking that they were going to do Lee Sin and then pick up Leona in second rotation, but it looks like they're not going to let, excuse me, Colin have that again. And again, it's a very practiced lane. When I was watching them back in, I'm trying to even think about what, May? Yeah, I think it was all the way back in May. They were playing Leona Corki, so.
Yeah, now with Thresh off the table, too. This is going to be a little bit rougher pickup in the support, but there are some options on the table. I don't know if Nami gets prioritized again. I think that you're right, that was a mistake. What we haven't seen a lot of is like Morgana, for example.
Well, you have to think again. It's a disengaged champion, whereas Morgana does have, you know, hard engage ability on her, but it's very much more
non-committal.
Yeah, non-committal CC. Morg, Nami. Don't see a ton of them.
A ban was skipped from RM, and you know we could say that's like a strategy. Yeah, that was exactly what it was. You saw the disconnect at the very end there. Hound just kind of walked out, and that's what happens. You don't get another ban. Sorry, guys.
Kassadin is open and available if they want to go for that style. Likewise, Gragas.
Oh no, Fizz. That was the immediate choice.
Last time.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is this the team you were mentioning that has the Fizz top lane?
No, that's Flandre. But Fizz was banned against RM last time, so.
So you expect this to be on Hawk?
A priority pick. Speaking of priority pick, they'll have Leona. Let's go Braum.
Well, and Lee Sin again. I think that's probably a little bit smarter if that had been given over to Flandre. As legendary as we're hearing, it would have been a really rough top lane. It already was, just against the Gragas, to be honest.
I feel, though, that RM is playing a very one-dimensional pick-ban style. If you think, again, back to their composition, the fact that they were looking more so for counter picks as opposed to cohesive strategy across the board. The fact that they didn't take away the Lee Sin when Reborn had such a fantastic showing on it, it might just not be in Juejue's, you know, champion pool. That said, it's Lee Sin, so I can't make that statement boldly. But again, like prioritizing, like Fizz is banned against us. we're going to pick it up no matter what, like without seeing the enemy's composition. It kind of speaks more to that solo queue mentality of I'm going to directly counterpick, I'm going to win lane, win game, I'm going to get the pick that matters to me, as opposed to, again, team synergy and team cohesion.
Oh, for 1 second. I dreamed the Draven dream, but then it was crushed as fan-to-fan shuffles over to Tristana. And then back to Corki. I think Corki is a tried and true. I wouldn't be that surprised if he goes for it again.
Is very popular in China.
Oh,
it's picking up popularity everywhere, but very popular in China.
We didn't talk as much about the Zilean choice. I think this is a flex pick. It could be support. It's likely going to more be that just because of the Fizz pickup. And we have seen sort of a rise of Zilean mid. It's sort of been up and down. Lucian again for 97. I don't know if this is a wise choice. He had a lot of trouble against the Corki.
They pick it up because of the mid-game power spike is very important to Chinese teams.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, with that Lulu pickup, it is going to be a Zilean support.
Yeah, there's a lot of AP in this comp.
You think?
That's what I will say. Okay, with the Ryze choice, might be a little bit smarter for that top lane.
But the fact that they're taking so much AP, so what, quadruple AP, although Eve is a little bit different now. She has
AD.
It's more so tank, though. I'm not going to give her, like, the big damage.
No, definitely not, like,
right
hard
there.
damage. I mean, they're going to rely so heavily on Lucian. I think the Zilean pickup was the support choice because they need a little extra mobility, and he'll be able to provide that speed steroid. Ryze, that's, like, just your blind pick. It's like, we don't know what we're up against. Even if it's Kassadin, I think we can handle it, but this is an advantage to Snake, again.
It's the counter to Kassadin, but with that Yasuo, that's going to be a top Kassadin against Fizz.
Ah, okay.
Which you're already facing a guy who is a Fizz top, known player, so hope that he would understand this matchup and how it's going to go about. The fact that he played a very AP-centric Gragas speaks to the fact that you're about to give him an assassin top laner, though typically, ooh, are they going to... Okay, never mind, they're matching up the Ryze with the Kassadin. Although now Kassadin's still in the hands of the mid laner.
I think they could do any number of things here. It's going to be on RM if they want to initiate the lane swap and make that happen. I think Snake's perfectly happy with it either way. I mean, this is a team that is very confident in their play.
Either way, Ryze is going to do well in either the Yasuo or the Kassadin matchup. So I do like that pickup, and I really like the synergy actually between Ryze and Zilean. Ryze, for the longest time, he had a ridiculous win rate. When Janna's passive was global, he had a ridiculous win rate with Janna, just because it would make him move faster, and you kind of think about Ryze and what he wants to do and kind of the limitations on his kit, the fact that he is kind of like a slower moving champion. But when you have that speed up, that's absolutely terrifying. Again, you talk about hard engage, the fact that they're really only bringing, what? They've got Zilean, Ryze, Lulu, Lucian, and Eve. Okay, so they have a flank potential now as far as late game engage, but they have the speed up Zilean Rune Prison. I love that.
Yeah, that is an interesting combination. The Ryze can definitely do well in either of those matchups. What I'm worried about is the last time they prioritized a particular lane, they lost out in every other lane. We'll have to see what they do this time going forward, but we are on to Summoner's Rift. And once again, the pause comes in. We're 2 for 2 tonight, as Snake and RM look to take to the Rift. Will Snake end up 2-0ing this, or does RM come back? I mean, they've definitely got a long road ahead of them.
I think RM corrected some of their problems that they saw in the first game, again, as far as being able to pick the fights and to get fights that they wanted when they were ahead and winning. That said, Snake just looked mechanically sounder, looked methodically sounder. The warding was better. They just looked like a more polished team across, every single board. So hard to come back from that, especially playing from the back foot. I want to talk about the bottom lane a little bit. I think the decision to pick up a Zilean support, I mean, when we first saw the Zilean arrive on the competitive scene this year, it was actually as the support played by SK T1 in the All-Star matchup against OMG. Their bot lane was having some issues with OMG's bot lane, and they picked up the Zilean support to kind of, even that out again. You can continually kill us, but you have to kill us twice because we have the chrono shift.
That was the super secret strategy, if I remember. They were all like, all like secretive about it and like we're talking about it on Twitter. We got something you guys have never seen before.
Oh yeah, you guys won't even believe this. No, but it worked really well for them. So, you know, kind of using that to balance out the power and the snowball that happened to them last time. That said, you're facing Braum, Corki, levels 1, and then, you know, level 6. That's a high poke lane, and typically you see a sustain lane being picked up in response to kind of cover Braum and Corki's poke, but...
Well, not to mention, the late game scaling is absolutely insane. Yeah, the Rise is going to be great, but look at this. Oh, we'll have to talk about it in a minute. Reborn wants to make some action happen. Copy is in there as well, but what they don't realize is Hound has found his way to the mid, and now Colin coming in for the cleanup effort. They just don't have enough to finish him off. It would have been a great early first blood. Fan to Fan actually goes really far forward and finds Luo, but no face checks. Smart move there.
I got Reborn's Flash, which is, I mean, it's not as important because it's on the jungler.
It's going to come up in a few minutes anyways, though. I mean, the very beginning of this game and on the jungler, yeah, I feel like that's a pretty minor thing. But it was a nice effort.
It's worth something, you know, anytime you get a Flash, you're like, okay,
yeah, I mean, at least you
guys.
can type it, like, you know, flash down. At least in no flash.
Worth.
Yeah, of course.
Gank him, guys. Get him.
Get a little bit of extra confidence going forward. Now, with this start, it looks like it'll be a red buff.
Is it adds some safety to Juejue's jungle. Typically, the issue with Evelyn is her first buff rotation is actually really scary for her. She gets very low health, and the thing that I never liked about Eve until Lee Sin is there's literally nothing to stop him from literally just walking into the jungle and monstering you, just murdering you on your second buff. But because he doesn't have his flash, it makes that a little bit scarier. And then the fact of the matter is that they also surrounded Eve with strong laners initially.
Well, Reborn didn't do a lot of counter
engaging
jungling
a
either.
lane swap.
Oh, here we go. The double lane swap as well. They're going to see this. Colin going to get a bomb on his head. He's okay with it. Yeah, going back to the jungle. I didn't see a lot of counter jungling coming out of Reborn. He just kind of focused on the lane that was at a disadvantage and kind of rocked it.
Oh yeah. Great recognition and read. My Twisted Fate's gonna have a problem, I'm just gonna camp him.
Yeah, why not, right? See what he does this time. With Jue moving into the top side jungle after this blue. Do you think he rotates up top? Oh boy, flashes for flashes. That was a close call, Luo says.
The level 1 from Braum Corki is going to be pretty disgusting right now. Braum will fall off a little bit, you know, typically he falls off a little bit between 2 and 5, because effectively he's just a poke lane without his ultimate. That said, against someone like Zilean, the issue with Zilean is he doesn't bring much wave control.
This is a hyper-aggressive Colin right now. He is been making moves to set things up. Yeah, well, it's really working for them. The CS difference is once again really, really obvious right now. Fan to Fan does not let 9769 get very close, and it's just kind of showing the caliber of AD carry difference. The support also hyper aggression too. Now the bot lane Flander is having a little bit of trouble with Hound. Rude Prison locking him up in a wave of minions. Not to think twice about hard engaging again, as he's losing out on CS quite a lot. Here comes the gank squad. That is going to be a lot of return damage though as well. Jue really, really low, and here comes Reborn for the cleanup effort. Oh, that's so insta heal. However, it won't be enough. Luo going down, 9769 in some trouble. Can he get away? Should be able to. Fan to Fan going to make him take some damage first.
They don't have level 6. This is a, what, level 3, level 4 cast.
That's a huge roam right now.
Is this going to be a dive?
It's going to. There's no way they commit to this. They're waiting for the right moment. They know Jue is here. They can go for this. Easy, just taking their time to clear in the waves so they have the minion front line. Here comes Copy. The teleport comes in. Reborn is there as well. It's going to be a 4v3. They actually bail out. And I think that might be the smarter move. Very, very dangerous to try and give up your double buff trade, but they might bait this out. 9769. Whoa, he's low. No way do they go for the follow-up kill, and that was a nice answer from RM, actually.
They force the teleport, which means that they lose a lot of pressure on the bottom side of the map. I
mean,
that said,
Flandre was
good
losing
CS
lane already.
advantage. Yeah, but that's a tough matchup anyway. But you know, letting him kind of get a little bit of a breather right there to shove out the waves. So it's hard to say what that impact will really make. Again, it's more important that the teleport is down. But the fact of the matter is that Hound's already on that side of the map due to the lane swap. If that's going to transition into any sort of dragon
they're
pressure.
They're going to send him mid.
It's about what Snake's going to do with that information. I think it's very very smart from RM to, hey, the teleport's down on Ryze. If we put him in the mid lane, he's at least close to anything that he would possibly need to be close to as far as, you know, walking distance, although it looks like he's now making his way back down bottom.
Yeah. Well, what I mean by, like, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world to give up a little bit of pressure on the bot side against Flandre is the fact that Hound was doing perfectly fine, and even with the slight differential in CS now, he can get back to doing that. There's not a lot of need to send the jungler down either, and wow, Hawk and Luo, that was a nice roam out there. The bomb's going down on Copy. He's in a bit of trouble. He's really going to go back in that low of health. Man, that is a really ballsy cast, and Hawk with the flash forward. Doesn't have quite enough. Playful Trickster to avoid the extra tower shot. A bit sloppy play out there by Hawk.
Yeah, it was a good thought saying, you know, Cassidy made this huge roam. I got the EXP advantage because I was able to shove all of those waves. I'm going to get level 6. I'm going to flash forward and immediately fish him. Mechanical misstep.
He saved the fish, though.
On Reborn.
Yeah, now he finds Reborn. He's going to go all in for the dive, though. He might be in a bit of trouble. Uh-oh, that's taken low as he gets out with the tiniest of health margins. Finding himself a kill, though. Nice answer, and they're looking to go for this dragon. Hawk actually isn't leaving.
It was really nicely played by the support from RM there. If you notice, he actually placed the bomb on Fizz when he went in. And that was the initial burst damage. That it wasn't just the fish, it was the fact that he ate the fish at the same time that he ate the Playful Trickster, at the same time that the bomb from Zilean went off. And that was the huge burst damage that you saw that immediately creates a numbers disadvantage, which creates a dragon for RM. And they did that entirely without vision. There was no wards anywhere. That was a completely dark dragon.
Well, they managed to get it off, and really taking advantage of the situation they found themselves in, knowing that Copy could get involved in it. They knew Flandre was there. They knew where the bottom laners were. That was actually a smart choice by RM. We're seeing a lot better decision-making from them out of this game, although 9769 has to be careful because they realize that Luo has been nowhere near this lane for a while as, well, I would say it's a pause, but it's actually just on the stream end. You're getting that too, aren't you?
Yeah, it paused on my end too, which hopefully then will stay synced up.
That of course breaks all the suspension, but that's okay. It happens from time to time. As we're seeing Copy going to be picking up that blue buff from Reborn in just a moment.
We hope we see him.
We're going to toss it over to like a hold screen just for a second, so you guys don't have to stare at that.
I want to talk about again that teleport because effectively everything that has happened so far in the game has been in response to that teleport stopping the dive. And I also kind of want to talk about the information in making that dive. There was an assumption that Joie was still on the tower, that Evelyn with the double buffs. That said, they actually didn't have any vision of him, and they weren't close enough to the lane because Eve had already gone back into stealth, that if she had walked close along the wall, she could have actually disengaged from that. So I think they were looking at that tower dive from the information standpoint that it was just Lucian. They might have had an inkling that Eve was around, but they knew that she was going to be low health. So much pressure and so much success from Hound to utilize that teleport right there to waste so much of Copy's time. And the fact that, like you said, he already had the advantage because it is Ryze versus Yasuo. Again, the only thing that Yasuo can really do in that lane. Because you have to think, as far as the mechanical matchup, Yasuo likes to dash around. He loves facing low CC, low mobility, skill shot based mages. People like Syndra, people like Ziggs, because he can dash around and dodge their damage and just like slap them in the face. He tries that. He tries those moves with Ryze, and Ryze is just going to lock him up with a rune prison and just start going at him. And then it's very difficult to get a nice win wall in between Ryze, just because your margin for error. Because Ryze, mechanically, when he's using his spells, he's going to walk towards you, so he gets more bounces with his E. Is very narrow. So.
Yeah, it's tough to deal
with.
For
that bot lane.
I've liked that what the move they made for the dragon especially, though, by realizing that there wasn't as much pressure from Fan2Fan and Colin this time. I'm kind of surprised they didn't make that chase push in a lot earlier than they did. I guess they were thinking that maybe Luo was trying to set up a flank. The lack of vision really hurt them there, to be honest. Snake is not playing as intelligently as they were last time. And as a result, RM has a slight lead in this, all said and done. I mean, it's the tiniest of margins, but RM has kind of bounced back from that first loss.
And they also have a much better scaling composition because they did pick up the Ryze. Fizz, of course, is just going to be an assassin that late game. Their AD carry is going to get outscaled, but particularly, again, the synergy between Zilean, Evelyn, and Ryze, I really like. That said, all three of those champions are AP and everything that they want to do, so this can be itemized against.
Yeah. Well, since the stream is still having a bit of difficulties, guys, we're going to take a quick break and kick it over some tunes. Hopefully it doesn't get muted, and we will be back after these. We'll bring you back up to speed if anything does get cut out. So until then, enjoy. You are watching the Demacia Cup, only here on LPLEN. We'll be right back.
Let me show you how you really make a scene. Vinyl. Let's party. Okay, Davey, it's time to... Blah! That's what it's time for. You're cute when you're mad. It's a classical piece I have been intrigued to perform at my next...
这个时光给一个 Q， 给小鱼人身上一个 Q， 也是逗。
他想让他突进去的时候可以炸到啊。
Alright guys, after a few brief technical issues, we are back. We're switching over a different stream right now as we return to the Demacia Cup. Snake versus RM. In all the craziness, just one kill, you just missed it. Snake managed to pick off on a nice little dive down in the top lane. But we're back to it. So Froska, I hope you're all synced up with me here.
What time are you at?
Oh, I'm a little bit shy of 12 minutes. In fact, it just hits it right now.
Okay, we're close enough.
Yeah, we're not doing too bad. Oh, you guys would love the stories of the syncing and technical issues that can sometimes happen when streams go dark.
I'm trying to sync up with the stream partners. Like, I'm just going for it. What? You're
Forget
going for
about
it? Like
it.
15 seconds
All right.
ahead of you.
Yeah, that's
Do it live.
why not, right? Sometimes you just have to do things. Speaking of doing it live, Flandre finding out Jue here. Here's Reborn. He's in the picture. However, they've got themselves some Zillion ults on. And he's like, just kill me, kill me. Oh, yeah, I'm coming back up. That's right. This is buying enough time for his teammates to get there. However, here comes Copy going in with the Rift Walk. Finds, can you kill Evelyn once again? But not enough. Copy goes down. That's going to be 97 getting that one. And they are answering back. He gets himself last breath as Luo not even touched in that fight. A lot of action for one kill either side.
That said, where the kills went to, completely different. The fact that it was the Zillion support that picked up the cast and kill. Not necessarily where you want that gold to go. Does have an early tier, though, so could be seeing more of an AP-centric Zillion down the road as opposed to the utility-based Zillion.
Yeah.
dancing it out.
Well, he prioritized getting those boots, too. Oh, boy. Be a little bit careful. Colin is there. Wow! Immediate Glacial Fissure, but he gets blocked by the, or excuse me, gets jumped away from the flash, avoiding it. But anytime you get ult for Summoner, usually hashtag worth. Oh, copy. Gonna find Hound in his own jungle. Here comes Hawk. Meanwhile, down the bot, Luo is being chased out once again, trying to zoom his way away, but he can't. Fan to fan, grabbing a hold of him for a kill as Reborn tries to do the same to Hawk, but he just playful tricksters away. A very slippery team, this RM lineup.
Both teams are very mobile.
Uh-oh,
but the pressure is
Fan
on
to
for this
fan,
dragon.
and Colin, they find 97, and he's in a bad spot. Can he dip and dash and dive and dodge away? I don't think so. That's a 4-man collapse, and Flandre comes up with the kill. You know what time it is.
Look at the amount of pink wards. Hound clearing one out right now.
It's dragon time,
and
though.
vision control that Snake has over the area. The fact that they're prioritizing, controlling this dragon, they're making the roams down there, which RM frankly should have recognized was happening. They had just previously ganked the area. He had 0 vision. Like there are no wards from RM in that river. It's completely dark against a Yasuo, Kassadin, Lee Sin makeup. So
yeah. I think that this is definitely Snake kind of trying to grab the edge back in this game. It's working so far. RM, they're still
being
hanging
handed
on.
to them, frankly.
Yeah, RM's not really doing much about this.
Is in it, but I attribute that mostly to I feel like their composition is much better this time around. But again, Snake's just outperforming them.
Yeah,
Second place
again,
versus 14th place.
You might as well, right? You might as well just take that prediction, and you can see why. This is a team that's going to be going, I'm pretty sure, straight to the LPL next year.
We don't know how the regulation is going to work quite yet, if it's going to be a tournament or it's just going to be people handed their spots. I think it might be a mixture of both since it is growing.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the expansion on the stream, actually. It's kind of not entirely known, but there are going to be a couple more teams.
Everything is always last second.
Including the schedules.
Including the schedules,
Oh,
yes.
boy. Shui, he's hanging out in the top, trying to bait out Flandre right now. Is Hound. He's not falling for it.
That is a 3-kill Yasuo, so definitely giving him some comfort back into that lane as well as a hefty CS advantage.
You know what doesn't give a lot of comfort to RM? The fact that their bot tower is 1 inch from death. They're just going to run away from it as fast as they can. Clear some golems instead. Oh,
Well,
Fan
Snake
Defense not
has-
even going to give him that. Give me the golem.
Complete control over that bottom side jungle. And unfortunately, with Yasuo on that last roam around the dragon fight, A, he picked up the global gold from the dragon. B, he picked up those 3 kills along the way. They lost control of their 1v1. Hound is itemizing against the Yasuo, picked up the early, or is looking for the early frozen heart, although he needs to get his Roa popping, so I think he's just going to pick up the glacial shield.
Speaking of itemization, Hawk goes for the Abyssal Scepter first, and you can see why right now. He's going to find Copy, but there's Reborn making moves. Oh, he's going to get collapsed on. Last breath, perfectly timed from Flandre, however. Hawk is low, burns a flash, trying to dodge out. Can he get away? Blade of Trickster? No, he can't! Why does he go back in that way? And now more members of RM caught out. It is Luo and Zhuizhui going down. They can't get back to tower. Snake coming up with a massive collapse and should be able to take down the mid-tower tier 1. A big 4-man roam squad has just been absolutely on point for Snake this game.
Beautiful use of teleport both instances that Flandre has used it, and again, really living up to that carry top mentality next PDD. It's been a while since we've seen a top laner like this so involved with the early game.
Yeah, the supporting style is really more of a popular thing unless your name is Go-Going.
He goes.
He does. He goes all the way into the playoffs.
And again, I cannot emphasize this enough. That guy is 14 years old.
Yeah, this guy's great, man. All that boot camping in Korea certainly has helped him out, I think. But, you know, the Wonder Kid as well. 4-0 on Yasuo in the top lane. Definitely something that RM has to deal with right now, and they're not appropriately answering it. They seem to not even be taking fights. They're just running away every single time there's an engage. Except for Hawk. That guy goes after anything.
Well, the issue is that they are never given enough knowledge of the entire situation to
Well, they
really
don't have
make...
enough wards.
Well, exactly, correct calls about it. Superior teleports, superior warding. We'll see if Snake is able to keep this up again now that they've completely controlled the bottom aspect of the map, taking that mid tower, taking the bot tower, taking the dragon. The focus should be on the top lane, so we'll see how they position and posture for it. Of course, here comes Reborn.
Oh boy, Hound is finding a little bit of trouble there with the 2v1. He nearly gets Reborn, but he goes down in the end. And I think it was actually smarter to focus that because he had a better chance of killing it. But nonetheless, Flandre's going to pick up himself another kill this game. 5-0, double buffs. That is a scary Yasuo, and he takes out the tower with the greatest of ease.
And now the answer for RM. What are they going to do? Where are they going to look on the map?
It's really hard. There's very few objectives that are easy for them to take at this point because the mid has fallen, the top is under so much threat constantly, and the bot has a Kasten just lurking around. There's so much mobility as well, and now they just go in there and brazenly try to get the steal off. 97 managing to get the red up with his culling, but you know it's bad when you have to use your ultimate just to secure a red buff.
Well, and look at the difference in itemization between Lucian and Corki right now. The fact that that's a complete Eternity Force. That's a huge power spike on the
and a BF sword. Oh my goodness. Snake is just completely running all over RM right now. Glacial Fissure not going to connect, but they're completely okay with it. The four-man collapse is so real, but they have to be careful not to get turned around on Colin with the front line forward. They can take this fight. Kasten not in the picture right now. Colin going down. Luo coming up with the kill out to the Chum. The waters landed on him. Reborn running for his life. Flandre and Fantafan as well. However, they could get poked out if they commit to this too hard. Hawk looking for the kill. Blood in his eyes. Can he find it? Corki with the Valkyrie and flash over. They're still diving for it. Hawk, what are you doing, buddy? That wasn't the good place to go as he falls down, giving another kill over to Fantafan, but they will get some revenge. Flandre going down for his first kill, but they're all very low, and Fantafan, he wants something else.
Look at how scary this Corki is right now. I don't think he knows that Eve. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, he does. Oh my goodness. He finds it. He gets the shred off. That is just in time for the chrono shift. Fantafan got to be careful. 97 looking for a kill, and he gets it. His third of the game, and thank you very much. I'll take that, he says.
Far too overzealous, but meanwhile in the bot lane, the reason why all of that action happened. Hold on a second, though.
Oh, it's not over in the top. 97's going down. Reborn gets his red buff. Oh, and Luo on the run. This is insane. Colin's still here. Yeah, every mistake gets answered. It's just crazy. They're going to be able to get this kill no problem. Doesn't even need his kick as Reborn gets himself two. And yeah, back in the bot. Kasten answered with a pair of towers.
And he was a little bit hesitant right there. So initially what started that whole engagement and the aggression from RM, it wasn't a ward, it was the fact that they just saw Kasten on the bottom side due to the vision that their minions granted him. And there was actually kind of a pause from Copy if you watched him at all. It looked like some miscommunication. He didn't initially push the tower right away. He kind of stopped, and I think they were thinking about maybe sending him to the top. But frankly, overzealous committal from Snake right there. They got caught. They did trade a global objective for it, where on the other side, Arm really didn't get anything for that. Now,
Flandre going in. He only found himself Shuizhui, but they're still going to take this fight. And you got to wonder, Frost, this might not have been the good one. Colin, he's in a lot of trouble. The Chum the Waters finds him, and they will finish him up with Shuizhui's hate spikes. But now RM once again on the chase, and this is the answer that Snake has been finding all dang game right now. Fan-to-fan. They're triple timing on Hawk. That was a little unfortunate. Meanwhile, on the backside, Flandre is going to get even more for his trouble. He will finally go down. So all of that started off Colin tanking up in the front, and it's going to end only one way. Reborn now hunting down Shuizhui, but they do back off this one, finding an easier objective. Somewhere in the jungle, actually. They're going to go straight for the dragon.
Yeah. They just don't have the itemization to deal with it. I mean, frankly, it's just a power spike issue right now. When it is a 5v5, again, that Corki 5, 1, and 7 has the Trinity Force available. Like you said, the BF, the beginnings of the Bilgewater Cutlass, that mixed damage coming out. They just don't have the answers. They can't deal with it. And again, this Kasten is just sitting on a Thirsty Cup Catalyst. He doesn't even have his Roa before 15 minutes, which is actually kind of concerning.
They actually haven't really needed him much, though, to be honest. Yeah, it is a bit questionable, but it seems like RM, they take these great number advantage fights just for a second, but then they get greedy. Then they want more, and Snake punishes that by coming up with the reversal flank. It's just RM being overly aggressive when they don't need to. It seems like they could grab themselves a couple kills, get out, and then come right back in when they're stronger.
anytime you have a Kassadin, it's all about the counter engage. The fact that you're bringing the Corki again as the AD carry, although Hawk now going incredibly hard
He
again.
wants himself a pair of double buffs. Hound and Colin in there as well to make it to 2v2, but it ends up being Hawk going down. Can they answer with fan to fan? Hound doesn't have the damage. He's getting kited out. Or is he? Wow, they trade. 1 for 1. Well, it's 1 for 2. In the situation, I guess Hound's got to be okay. Hashtag worth, but when you're spending 2 resources just to shut down an AD carry, that's rough.
It was beautiful positioning from Colin right there on his Braum to make that happen. And likewise, since the resources were spin and bottom, seeing what Flandre can make up top.
Ooh, boy. Flandre is going to find Zhuizhui. Oh, yeah. He doesn't want any part of that, but the chase is on anyways. Again, the 4-man gang squad, and they're going to be able to find more damage and another kill, but the chrono shift comes in just in time on Zhuizhui. I think they should be able to shut him down anyways. Null Sphere coming in. That's going to be Copy picking that one up. Hawk wanting to make a fight of it. They're so squishy right now, but they're still finding answers. They get a kill off onto Hawk, and even more, they find Luo. Oh, man. Copy with a bomb on his head, but that's completely okay. And Colin even dodging out the Ardent Blaze with a stand behind me. They get a tower, they get out completely for free.
A big part of their itemization is I kind of look across the board for Snake. A couple things that I want to point out. First and foremost, the prioritizing of the MR, pretty much across the board. The fact that you have a Yasuo that he got a Static Shiv, of course that's going to be core, but typically from Static Shiv you see the Bork Rush, doesn't actually have his Cutlass available. Went instead for the QSS, the Hextech, or excuse me, the Hexstringer, and the Merc Treads. Compare that again, the fact that that's stacked on top of the Aegis, which will be turned into a Locket soon, the fact that Reborn is prioritizing that as his first rush Lee Sin item against a, quadruple AP composition, is really why Snake is just able to kind of come in and just monster through these fights.
Well, and they're just so far ahead off the back of them as well. As Fan to Fan finds Hound out now, you can see it's stark difference. Fan to Fan actually does not get bursted down in time. It gets answered back, however, by Zhuizhui, and they had Luo coming in for the collapse, but so many resources expended. Now Hawk is in trouble. They're going to get the last breath off on him. That's another pickup kill. Reborn going in far. They're completely ignoring Zhuizhui, and now they turn around on him. 97-69 roamed in to try to make something happen, but he gets zoned out. He does find a kill. Meanwhile, there's still craziness happening in this jungle as 97-67 is going to go down. I cannot even say his name before he dies. That is an ace for 2 for Snake. They own this jungle now. There's nothing safe for RM.
Was Reborn running around in the back being like, guys, block the calling, and Copy just walked away from it.
They were like, nope, you're on your own, bro. I mean, even with Reborn dying there, it's still a stomping of a fight. There is a massive gold lead for Snake. Yeah, there's very little chance that they can lose this, just because there hasn't been a fight that they haven't won.
That said, though, yes, they're just looking, you know, we keep talking about how they just look more polished across the board. The itemization is still pretty wonky. I see why they did it, but it could burn them should this game continue to scale. The fact that Rise has his, he had his Roa completed on time, the fact that he has his Seraph.
Oh, it's not Saros just yet, but now Flandre going in with the 1v2 on Hound and Hawk. He's still okay to take this, and he is a massive Yasuo, but is he big enough? There's a 5-man collapse. Nowhere to go. That was a rare, nice moment for RM. A bit overzealous. Oh, wow, okay. That's Colin disconnecting. Not sure why that's happening.
I believe that it's played online, so they're not in studio like they are for the LSPL or for the LPL.
He's still moving, though.
So it could be the great firewall of China.
Oh boy. Copy wishes he had a firewall right now. He's going to rift walk out. He gets blocked with Reborn right now. He says, see, I can do this for you. That's all you had to do for me. They get out alive, though. Flandre's death notwithstanding, this is still very much Snake's game. They're really able to take anything they want to when they're on a 5-man. They just have to be careful not to get reverse collapsed by RM.
But look what just happened. So they found, you know, a superior engagement. They found Copy. Of course, it is a Kassadin, so there's a big issue there. But even if they had found someone like Corki, they don't have that really hard CC. They have better engagement tools than they did the last game, but that isn't saying as much because they literally brought nothing last game. Effectively, for them to get a good fight, they have to find a flank with Evelyn. And then you have to have the speed up and the rise to really get in there. But again, you're competing against Riftwalk, against Safeguard, against
Valkyrie.
Dragon Rage, Valkyrie. the fissure,
everything. And the last breath. I mean, if they try to group up for a fight, they don't even have superior team fighting here. Now, they maybe look to create some pressure points and force one, but they can only force like a fight that is a serious numbers advantage, and Snake is far too smart to allow that.
And they're so cooldown based on RM's comp.
Or are they? They're going for the 4v5 right now. Wow, this is so confident from Snake as they have a split pushing fan to fan. Not even, they're like, do I go up? Nah, it's okay, man. You keep pushing the wave down, bot. I mean, that's how far ahead they are.
Exactly, and you just have to think, like, Snake has all of the options on their composition to say, okay, the Chrono Shift is out, you know, their cooldowns, the Fizz Shark just went out, the Chrono Shift is on, let's just completely disengage, and then let's immediately re-engage. The fact that it is that counter-engage composition because you do have the Kassadin is incredibly potent against, again, the big factor, the Chrono Shift on the side of Zilean right there, so... I just really think what Snake is doing and how they recognize their win conditions is very smart.
Yeah.
It really speaks about why they're so far ahead in this game.
Well, the mistakes they have made have been minor positional errors. And just kind of getting a little bit too greedy as they look to take a fight here. Now Colin with a bomb on his head goes right back and it's exploding on all of them. It's slight mistakes, but they're so far ahead, it's hard to even say it's a really big issue. Vladder's going to get a clutch win wall out right now as they look to take another fight. Phosphorus bomb going down. Is that going to be a dead way? It is. That is going to be Reborn picking that one. Hawk in the back line, but he can't finish off fan to fan. They find a double kill for Reborn as they get 3 kills for none, and they're going for more. Flandre now. Hound and 9769. That is the final breath, and it's another kill. They're going to get the ace. They're going to get everything, and they should turn on Baron right now, or maybe, let's just take an inhibitor, guys.
The inhibitor would secure the Baron later down the road, which is why they're going to prioritize that. And again, you also... There they go. Okay,
Yeah.
surrender.
Oh, that's just a full-on surrender. Completely demoralizing loss for RM, and an easy-peasy 2-0 comes up for Snake, and they will move on to the next round. That is pretty big for them, and frankly, I'd say we expected it, but maybe not quite like that. They will go on to face the winner of our next match, though, Positive Energy and World Elite, when that comes back.
And the big question mark, like you said, is if World Elite is done with their other tournament, because they are competing in another bracket today, not just the Demacia Cup. And I wanted to kind of touch again on the Demacia Cup rules. Again, it was an upset that RM was even here into this round. Again, they upset LGD and were able to move on. It is a single elimination, so now that RM has lost, they are completely out.
Yeah, but this is a tournament that runs extremely long pace throughout everything, so... Well, RM is out, Snake is up. Yeah, I mean, that's quite a ways away. We will see, though, how